question for you. Do you talk or do you communicate? And do you know the difference? Talking has a lot of definitions in the dictionary. Look it up. But some basic things. It could be a noun. We're hearing a lot of talks today. It can be a verb. I need to talk to you. It can be used pretty generally. I talk to my computer, and most of the time Cortana doesn't tell me anything. I talk to my dogs. I get some nonverbal response back. Now, pay attention to that nonverbal response. Communicating, on the other hand, fewer definitions. It's a little clearer. It's basically the exchange of information. Where most of us talk, we think we're communicating, but the people we're talking to don't necessarily hear what we're saying, and we don't necessarily hear what they're saying. It's a known fact that people start to think about their response before you've even finished your sentence. So it's important to know and to be sensitive to the difference between talking and communicating. My name's Jeanne Alford, and I'm a communications expert. I've worked with some pretty big name brands like Philips Electronics and Dolby Laboratories to help them communicate to their different audiences, be it a customer, be it an employee, be it an investor. And we had to really work hard to make sure they heard what we had, analyzed it, absorbed it, and then we got feedback, so we listened. That's the basic part of communicating that most people forget. And I want to talk about, for this audience, how to better communicate your story. And I have 2 steps I'm going to focus on. The first step, I think you'll be surprised on this one. Tell your story. The second step we're going to talk about is how to be more confident in your story. So let's go back over here to tell. How many of you think that you tell your story and you tell it well? About half. That's normal. How many think you don't have a story to tell, or you haven't been telling your story? It's about a quarter. That's, again, normal. If you don't tell your story, I have a secret for you. It's already being told for you. Chances are it's being told by your competitor. And you don't want that because they're going to make themselves sound better. It doesn't help for competition. So the second step comes in here, and that's to be confident in your story, to understand how to present it, to understand how to give it in a way that people believe you. Now, if I stood up here and I kind of slinked back and my shoulders went down and I said, you really need to tell your story and you need to tell it often, you're not going to believe me, because the nonverbal communication is that I don't believe myself. And that may be a core belief some of you have. A lot of us feel that way. Not good enough. Nobody wants to hear me. So you don't tell your story. Or if you do, you don't tell it confidently. If I step up and I use the stage and I say, you have to tell your story, only you can tell it, you're going to believe me. Right? So it's 2 simple steps. Tell your story. Tell it confidently. There are a lot of steps in between. There are some things that marketing people have learned. I'd like to say frequency and repetition, because you have to say something to someone or get the information to them 6 or 7 times before it gets through the noise in their head, because there's that much. I actually expand that by a factor of 2 because of the internet. There's so much noise out there that people don't necessarily hear your story. And when they hear it, they're not paying attention. So you really want to be more effective by ensuring not only that you tell it, but that it's being absorbed so that you can get information back. Think about this. You're on the Jeopardy stage. Alex Trebek is starting to tell the answer. You hear it halfway, and you put your hand on the buzzer. Whether you heard the whole thing or not, you have to give the question. more often than not, you're going to be wrong because you didn't hear the end of the answer. And that's where understanding the whole question and how it's absorbed is important. Now, I really believe in communications, so I have an offer for you for being here, and that's an ebook, 3 Magic Questions to Instantly Improve Your Communications. First question, what do you want to say? It's that easy. And to get it, all you need to do is provide me your name, your email address, and your phone number, and my team and I will get it out to you right away. And if for some reason you want to go further, and I hope you do, I have a special offer. We'll do a communications assessment. We'll look at what you're saying about yourself. We'll look at what has been printed about you, and we'll make sure that it's all in alignment with the message that you really want to say, so that you can become more confident in telling that story over and over. And that's for $97. It's a $300 value. So if you're interested in going a little further, provide me your credit card information, your expiration date, and your billing address, and we'll get that set up right away. So I want to say thank you for being here, because the first step is to recognize that you have a story. And just being here tells me that you know you have a story. The next step for us to do is to get you to tell it confidently, often, and always help your audience shine. Because that's what you can do. You can shine and change the world one customer at a time. Thank you.